When a woman distances herself from you and ignore you, just do this. Modern Stoic. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Let's get straight to the point. If you're a man facing the situation where a woman starts distancing herself, ignoring your texts, becoming emotionally distant, or pulling away in a way that leaves you feeling lost or unsure, know this: 99% of men panic. They call more, they try harder, and they desperately chase after her. But here's the truth: this approach only weakens your position. When you chase, you give up your power, you sacrifice your self-respect, and in doing so, confirm her belief that she's in control and you're on the brink of desperation. It's painful. No doubt, you care about her. You saw potential in the connection, and now she's distant, maybe even ignoring you entirely. That shift in her behavior can make any man question his value, his confidence, and even his own masculinity. But here's the crucial insight you need to remember: her withdrawal often has very little to do with you. It could be a test, emotional or strategic, or simply her seeking excitement elsewhere. How you react, however, speaks volumes about your own self-worth and emotional stability. This isn't about reacting in an emotionally driven way. It's about responding like a man who understands his own value. When you stand firm in the face of her silence, when you resist the urge to chase and instead embrace your own strength, you shift the dynamic. You go from being the one who chases to the one who is now on her mind, the one she begins to chase. This message is for the man who's tired of being caught in confusion, frustration, and helplessness when a woman distances herself. I'm here to provide you with real, actionable strategies that will allow you to respond to her emotional shifts with confidence. In today's world of modern dating, emotional control is power and attention is the currency. Let's dive into what you can do to regain control and maintain your value. 1. Do not chase her. When a woman starts distancing herself and ignoring you, the temptation to chase her can feel overwhelming. It seems like the natural instinct to follow. She pulls back. So you move forward, she stays silent. So you send more messages. She gets cold. So you warm her up with compliments and gifts. But here's the thing. This is exactly the wrong move. The mistake you're making is that by chasing her, you're only confirming her doubts and reducing your value in her eyes. When a woman steps back, she's testing your emotional strength, losing attraction, or simply exploring other options. If you respond by pursuing her out of desperation, you're just confirming that you have no options of your own, which is the last thing she finds attractive. A modern Stoic man understands this. He never begs for attention or forces a connection. Instead, he steps back and allows others to reveal themselves, showing emotional resilience and strength. The blessing of Stoicism here is simple. You must be secure enough to walk away when your energy isn't being reciprocated. Women are not drawn to men they pity. They are drawn to men who are confident enough to detach and move on when necessary. So, when she pulls away, don't panic. Don't start calling her repeatedly, doubling down with texts, or obsessively checking her stories for a clue. That's what emotionally needy men do. Women recognize it immediately. Instead, let her feel your absence. Let her experience the void left by your presence, your attention, your energy. The beauty of this approach is in its simplicity. When you stop chasing, you become unpredictable. Unpredictability is magnetic. It sparks curiosity, and curiosity sparks interest. When interest is rekindled, attraction follows. The power shifts from her to you, but only if you learn to pull back your energy without any drama, without confrontation, Silence becomes your weapon, not weakness, but the profound strength that comes from self-control. You're not here to play games or make her feel guilty. You're here to protect your self-worth. If she needs distance, then you match that distance. But you do it with dignity, without bitterness or resentment. The modern Stoic knows that chasing someone is a sign of desperation, a surrender of personal power. The man who does not chase forces her to sit with her decision and feel the consequences of her actions. And it is in this silence that the power dynamic begins to shift. She will wonder why you didn't react, why you didn't chase after her. She'll start questioning herself, asking, what is he doing now? Why didn't he reach out? The blessing of Stoicism is that you do not need to answer her questions. You do not need to chase her down. Your peace and value are non-negotiable. A man who understands the art of detachment is never desperate. And that is exactly what women respect the most. So remember this: don't chase. Do not let your actions show emotional desperation. When you stop chasing, you stop seeking validation. Instead, you give off the calm, controlled presence that is so rare in the world today. A presence that makes her think twice. A modern Stoic never oversteps, never pleads, and never reacts impulsively. He respects her space, and in turn, gains her respect. Keep your value high by letting your absence do the talking. 2. Focus on yourself immediately. Once you've stopped chasing, the next step is critical. It's time to focus on yourself immediately. And I mean, fully and completely redirect every ounce of your energy, every thought, every effort back into your own life. This isn't about sitting around obsessively replaying the last text or stalking her online, trying to make sense of what went wrong. Forget that. This is about you, your mind, your body, your business, your goals. Let me be blunt. When a woman pulls away, she creates an emotional void. The trap most men fall into is trying to fill that gap with more thoughts about her. You replay that last text, analyzing each word, wondering if you should have said something different. You ask friends for advice, hoping they have the magic answer, but none of that helps. It only keeps you stuck in a loop of confusion and emotional vulnerability. What truly helps is this: redirect that energy. Instead of pouring your time into worrying about her, use that mental space to focus on what builds you up. Get selfish in the best way possible. Invest that energy into becoming the man you were meant to be, the man who doesn't depend on anyone for validation. This is your time. Double down on your fitness, hit the gym harder than you ever have before. Spend more time on your business or career, sharpen your skills, and look for ways to make real strides. Upgrading your look, absolutely. Reinvent your daily routine, your habits, and your mindset. And here's the key. Don't do any of this to make her regret walking away. No. You're doing it for one reason and one reason alone. You owe it to yourself. The old Stoic wisdom tells us that we must place our value on the things that are truly in our control. You can control your actions, your growth, and your goals, and you must prioritize them. You are the prize. It's time to act like it again. Not for her, but for you. Women have an uncanny ability to sense when a man's world revolves entirely around them. And the moment they sense this, they lose respect. The truth is, no one respects someone who is dependent on them for happiness or validation. It's a subtle but powerful shift. If you are consumed with thoughts of her, you send a message that you lack direction and purpose, that your emotional well-being hinges on her. But when she sees that you've refocused, when she feels that your life moves forward with or without her, that's when the tides start to turn. She'll start to take notice again. Not because you've done something to get her attention, but because you've shifted your energy into becoming a man who is independent, self-sufficient, and centered. What happens next is incredibly powerful. When a woman sees that your life doesn't revolve around her, she starts to realize something: you're not just another guy clinging for validation. You are a man with purpose, with a sense of direction, and with an inherent value that doesn't need her to affirm it. That's magnetic. That's a man who stands tall in his own life, who doesn't need anyone else to complete him. Here's what most men miss: the best way to win her back isn't by focusing all your energy on getting her back. The best way to win her back is by working on becoming the kind of man she regrets walking away from. The kind of man who knows his worth and doesn't let anyone take it for granted. Stoic life teaches us that true power comes from within. It's not about being desperate or manipulative. It's about embodying your worth and letting the world, including her, recognize it. When you do this, you stop trying to chase and start becoming a man who is so confident in his value that people, including her, are drawn to it. You must understand this: the moment you stop worrying about her and start focusing on yourself, everything shifts. When you focus on your own growth, you allow her to witness the man you are becoming, not the man you once were. And that shift, moving from emotional dependency to self-assurance, is when you start to truly understand the Stoic lessons that have been around for centuries. Stoicism isn't just about controlling your emotions. It's about redirecting your energy into what matters most: your own growth and self-worth. So, don't waste another moment of your life fixating on someone who has pulled away. Use that energy to create a better version of yourself. Become a man who stands strong, with purpose and vision. When you do, you won't just become the man she might regret losing. You'll become the man you can look at in the mirror and be proud of, no matter what anyone else thinks. The blessing of Stoicism lies in this: you don't need anyone to define your worth. You already know it. Keep moving forward, keep evolving, and let the world catch up. If you found this valuable, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember: I am a man with purpose, direction, and value. This is a reminder that your worth is inherent. Focus on yourself, elevate your life, and watch how the world responds. 3. Match her energy without bitterness. When a woman distances herself or pulls back from you, it's easy to feel like you need to react quickly, to do something dramatic or desperate to win her attention again. But that's exactly the wrong mindset. In those moments, you must do the opposite of what your instincts tell you. You must align yourself with Stoic principles, the very essence of emotional control, self-discipline, and rational thought. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics in history, taught that the key to mastery over life and emotions lies not in reacting impulsively to what others do, but in maintaining calm, order, and control within yourself. When a woman distances herself, do not overextend yourself or chase after her. Do not take it personally. Do not fight the current. Instead, match her energy calmly and without bitterness. This is where your power lies. In these moments, your power is not in manipulating her emotions, creating drama, or trying to pull her back through force or guilt. Your power lies in your emotional self-control, your ability to maintain your own frame and peace even when external circumstances change. Too many men allow their egos to dictate their actions when faced with a woman's silence or withdrawal. They take it as an insult, as if her pulling away is a reflection of their inadequacy or failure. But this mindset is destructive. It triggers insecurity, fear of loss, and a desire to regain control in a way that is reactive and counterproductive. Suddenly, they become angry, cold, sarcastic, or passive-aggressive. They start making accusations she's fake, ungrateful, or manipulative. These are all signs of emotional leakage, a desperate attempt to regain control by creating drama. But in reality, all this does is show weakness. It reveals that you cannot handle pressure, that you cannot maintain your emotional discipline when things aren't going your way. It shows that you lack control over your emotions. This is exactly what pushes her away, further solidifying her desire to keep her distance. But here's the key. The man who has mastered Stoic principles knows how to react differently. He remains calm and composed. He matches her energy without allowing his emotions to spiral out of control. If she becomes slow to respond, so does he. If she stops calling, he stops calling. If she needs space, he gives it freely, without resentment, without bitterness, and without any ulterior motive. This is not about being indifferent or cold. It's about emotional discipline. It's about understanding that the true measure of a man's strength is not in his ability to control others, but in his ability to control himself. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is where true masculinity lies." Women are not repelled by space, they are repelled by insecurity. If you react to her silence with panic or desperation, she will sense your need for her validation. And that need will drive her further away. But if she feels that her distance does not affect you, that it does not disturb your peace, she will begin to question her own actions. She will wonder why you are unaffected. This is the essence of the modern Stoic man. You don't react because you don't need to. You're in control of your own frame. You maintain your peace, your composure, and your dignity, regardless of external circumstances. In modern life, this is a powerful advantage. Many men are caught in a cycle of chasing validation and approval. They respond emotionally to everything that happens in their relationships. They fight for attention, argue for affection, and try to manipulate situations to get what they want. But the Stoic man does not engage in these battles. He is not moved by the whims of others. He understands that life is full of shifts and changes. People will come and go. But the true measure of a man's strength is his ability to stand firm, unwavering in the face of adversity, in the face of change. He has mastered his mind, and in doing so, he has mastered his life. This is not about being cold or distant. It's about emotional discipline. When you learn to match her energy without bitterness, without chasing after her, you show that you are a man who is not swayed by external forces. You are a man who is not controlled by his emotions. And that is a powerful thing. It is not weakness, but strength. It is not desperation, but self-assurance. It is a sign of emotional maturity. Remember this. When a woman pulls away, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's a test of your strength. If you respond with insecurity, you will fail. If you respond with emotional discipline, with calm and resolve, you will succeed. You will rise above the drama and chaos. You will attract the right energy into your life, and she will respect you, not because you are trying to control her, but because you have mastered yourself. You are stoic. You are the man who stands firm, regardless of the storm around you. So, embrace this mindset. Hold your frame. Let go of the need for approval. Let her pull away if she must. You will not chase. You will not beg. You will stand your ground, and you will remain unshaken. This is the modern Stoic way. This is how you master your life, your relationships, and your emotions. 4. Let her feel the consequences. When a woman pulls away, ignores you, or distances herself emotionally, most men panic. They rush to chase, to call, to plead, to somehow fix what feels broken. But this, my friend, is exactly what you must not do. The modern Stoic knows that this response is weak and counterproductive. Instead, embrace the blessing of Stoicism by allowing her to feel the consequences of her actions. No, not punishment, just the natural outcome of her withdrawal. Real strength lies not in reacting, but in responding. The most powerful men understand this. They do not chase or beg. They retreat, not with bitterness, but with quiet detachment and elevation. They become a man of mystery, a man who cannot be easily swayed by emotional turmoil. And this, my friend, is what creates power in the relationship. When she distances herself and you respond with silence, that silence is everything. But let me be clear, this is not a feigned silence, a pretending to be busy kind of silence. This is true silence. It's the quiet of emotional unavailability, where you do not wait for her attention, but where you are content with yourself. This silence, this blessing of Stoicism, speaks volumes. It tells her everything she needs to know. You are no longer willing to chase her. You are no longer needy or desperate for her validation. It's this absence, this void, that is more deafening than any words you could utter. Women, as much as they may deny it, are deeply emotional creatures. They feel things on a profound level, a shift in energy, a change in the way you treat her, even without words, can shake her to her core. So, when you suddenly withdraw your consistent attention, when you stop being available, when you stop waiting for her to engage, she notices, she feels it, and it hits her harder than any emotional outburst or frantic plea ever could. The quiet of your absence resonates in her soul. She begins to wonder, where is the man who used to give me his time? Where is the attention I took for granted? That feeling is powerful, and it is exactly what you want her to experience. But here's the thing. The modern Stoic knows that the key to this silence isn't just being silent. It's being silent in a way that makes her realize the true value of your presence. You must let her feel what it's like to live without you. You must let her face the emptiness that comes when she no longer has access to your energy, your time, or your affection. And when she does, it forces her to reckon with her choices. She'll have to confront her own emotions, her own fears, and ultimately, her own need for you. That's when the power of Stoicism becomes clear. You may wonder why this work, why silence, not confrontation. It's simple. In a world filled with noise where everyone is vying for attention, the man who is absent, who doesn't react to every little emotional shift, is rare. This absence creates an emotional void that's impossible to ignore. And in that void, she starts to see you in a different light. She realizes that you are not like the other men who are forever trying to fix things, forever trying to keep her happy. You, the modern Stoic, have learned that the greatest gift you can give is your absence, not as punishment, but as a lesson. This is a powerful shift. It's not about manipulation, it's about self-respect. It's about embodying the blessing of Stoicism and standing firm in your own value. Don't beg, don't chase. Let her feel the weight of her own choices. And when she comes back, and she will, you will be in a position of power, not because you've done anything extraordinary, but because you've done nothing at all. This is the power of the modern Stoic silence, absence, and emotional elevation. That is the key to reclaiming control in any relationship. If you found this valuable, like, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember I control my own energy and let her feel the consequences. 5. Stop over-explain yourself. One of the greatest mistakes a man can make when a woman starts to distance herself is to over-explain himself. It's a trap that's all too easy to fall into, but it undermines your strength and takes away from your true masculine energy. You see it happening often. She starts texting less, ignoring your calls, or simply seems distant. And what's your first instinct? You immediately start asking yourself questions like, did I do something wrong? Are you mad at me or worse? Why are you acting like this? Now I get it. It's tough when someone you care about pulls away. But here's the hard truth. Over-explaining yourself is never the answer. Let's get a few things clear. Using the wisdom of the old Stoic philosophers who knew that emotional control is paramount. When you feel that need to justify or defend yourself, stop. You don't need to explain, apologize, or beg for attention. This is not the way of the Stoic man. The Stoic life teaches us not to chase or seek validation. Instead, it teaches us how to maintain calm and composure, no matter the external circumstances. You might feel tempted to pour out your emotions, thinking that if you explain your feelings or convince her how much you care, things will magically return to normal. But that's a mistake. All you're doing is displaying insecurity, anxiety, and neediness. A woman can smell neediness from miles away, and it will only push her further away. So, stop. Don't do it. When you over-explain, you're essentially handing over your power. Think of it like giving her the keys to your emotional state, letting her dictate how you feel and react. That's not the way the old Stoic masters approached life. Instead of being swayed by external forces, they focused on their own internal strength. When a woman distances herself, it's not your job to chase her down, groveling for explanations or approval. That's not masculine energy. That's a lack of self-assurance. In the realm of relationships, the most attractive thing a man can do is hold his ground with emotional composure. When faced with distance, a Stoic man doesn't crumble or rush to explain his feelings. He stays steady. The more you talk, justify, or over-communicate, the more power you lose. Think about it. What is more attractive? Someone who can hold their composure under pressure, or someone who falls apart the moment things feel uncertain? Women don't respond to words alone. They respond to strength. Strength that comes from knowing who you are, knowing your value, and not needing to explain it to anyone. This is where Stoicism comes in. By embodying Stoic lessons, you develop a sense of calm and inner peace that doesn't fluctuate based on the actions of others. You know that your worth is inherent. It doesn't require validation. And that self-sufficiency is what makes you magnetic. Emotional composure is the secret weapon of any modern Stoic. When you master this, you become immune to the games and emotional roller coasters of life. A Stoic doesn't panic when faced with a challenge. He doesn't beg for someone's affection, nor does he overanalyze every move the other person makes. Instead, he stays grounded. This is the epitome of masculine strength. The more you remain calm and composed, the more control you keep. The truth is, when you stop over-explaining, you demonstrate emotional maturity. You show that you're not controlled by external circumstances. You're a man who knows how to handle challenges with grace and wisdom. This kind of strength is exactly what attracts respect and admiration, especially from a woman who may be testing your emotional stability. This is a critical lesson. When a woman creates space, It's important to recognize that it's not your job to chase her down. Don't fall into the trap of trying to fix things by explaining yourself over and over. Instead, use the space to reflect on your own journey. This is where Stoicism can truly transform you. By applying Stoic principles, you learn to live in the present moment, unaffected by external chaos. You become someone who isn't easily shaken by the unpredictable nature of relationships. Instead of focusing on what's wrong with the situation, focus on what you can control. And that is yourself. You are the one who defines your value. So stop looking for constant reassurance. You must be so sure of your own worth that no one's confusion or emotional distance will ever make you question who you are. The Stoic life demands that you be your own source of strength and validation. So, the next time a woman pulls away, don't beg for her attention, don't explain yourself. Don't search for the perfect words to make her feel the way you want her to. Stand firm. Let her come to you. Remember, you are the man who doesn't need validation from anyone. This is the wisdom that the old Stoics embraced. True power lies in self-reliance, emotional mastery, and a steady heart in the face of uncertainty. So let her distance herself if she must. You'll be fine, because you are calm in the storm. You are a Stoic man, and you don't need to explain that to anyone. 6. Detach from the outcome. In the world of modern dating, there's a truth every man must accept if he wants to master his emotions and relationships. You must detach from the outcome. This is a lesson rooted deeply in the Stoic principles, particularly those of Marcus Aurelius, who taught that the only control you truly have is over your own actions and reactions. If you're sitting around obsessing over whether she will come back or if she'll ever text you again, understand this. You're already losing. You're giving away your power, your peace, and your self-respect. When a woman pulls away, the first thing that gets tested isn't your love or how much you care about her. It's your ability to let go. You must break free from the chains of expectation. Too many men make the mistake of believing that by following the right steps, giving space, not chasing, focusing on themselves, they'll win her back. But this mindset still comes from attachment, and attachment is the root of all disappointment. Think about it. If you're fixated on the idea of her returning, you're no different than a man who clings desperately to fleeting moments. Stoicism teaches us that attachment leads to suffering, and attachment to any outcome leads to frustration. Instead, focus on what you can control: your own actions, your own emotional state, and your own growth. The more you chase the outcome, the more you push her further away. The power lies in embracing the uncertainty, in finding strength within yourself, and understanding that her actions or decisions do not define your worth or your happiness. When you let go of the attachment to an outcome, you free yourself from the prison of expectation and the stress of trying to control someone else's behavior. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So if you're caught up in worrying about what she's doing, you are living in a cycle of negativity that will only weaken your mind. Instead, channel your energy into becoming the best version of yourself. Focus on your passions, your purpose, your personal growth. That's how you master your own life. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop relying on her for validation, for happiness, or for any sense of purpose. By letting go of this attachment, you actually put yourself in a position of strength. You are now free to move forward, to become more resilient, and to take control of your destiny. Do not let the fear of rejection or the uncertainty of the future rule your emotions. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not, said Epictetus, another great Stoic. You must stand firm in your own values. The truth is, when you live by Stoic principles, you are already on the path to mastery. You've taken back control of your emotional life, and you no longer need to depend on external validation. In the end, detaching from the outcome isn't about giving up, it's about winning. It's about gaining emotional freedom and creating the kind of life where you are not defined by anyone else's actions, only by your own. Stop seeking validation from her. Stop chasing. Instead, focus on becoming the man who is so complete, so powerful, that you attract what you deserve. Victory lies not in the outcome, but in how you carry yourself, how you manage your emotions, and how you stand tall no matter what comes your way. The Stoics knew this well. You must remain steady in your purpose, and you must be at peace with yourself. When you do that, you are unstoppable. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us. Or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. 7. Move on like she doesn't exist. When a woman distances herself and starts ignoring you, many men fall into the trap of chasing after her, seeking explanations, or trying to figure out where they went wrong. But that's the wrong approach. Don't waste a second trying to make sense of her behavior or begging for her attention. The most powerful move you can make is to move on as if she doesn't exist. And I'm not talking about this in some petty, childish way. It's not about playing games, stirring up jealousy, or making her feel regretful. This move is all about reclaiming your life, your energy, and your peace of mind. The moment she pulls away, you pull away further, not in a way that's meant to hurt her, but in a way that's meant to protect your own strength and resolve. You must become a modern Stoic in the face of emotional distance, embodying the calm and strength that comes from understanding you cannot control others, only yourself. You see, the blessing of Stoicism is the realization that you don't need anyone's validation to feel worthy. You don't need closure from her to find peace. In fact, the best thing you can do is to stop looking for it from her at all. Instead of obsessing over the unanswered texts or wondering why she's withdrawn, you focus on one thing: your purpose. Shift all of your attention away from her and channel it into yourself, into becoming the best version of who you are. You become louder in your purpose, louder in your grind, and louder in your focus. This is where your energy should go, not into pining for someone who has already decided to distance themselves from you. When you commit to moving on like she doesn't exist, it isn't about shutting down emotionally or pretending you don't care. It's about understanding that your life doesn't revolve around someone who isn't invested in it. Don't ever beg for attention, love, or closure. You are a man of value, and you must believe that. The blessing of Stoicism lies in accepting what you cannot change and taking control of what you can. You can control your actions, your mindset, and your growth. So, take control of those things and move forward. When you detach from the need for closure, you set yourself free. You are no longer waiting around for someone who isn't offering you what you deserve. But here's the beautiful part: as you do this, as you start living for yourself and letting her fade into the background of your life, you will inevitably start to see results. She may never admit it, but she will notice. She will hear about your success, your growth, your transformation into a man of strength, and she will start to miss you. Not in the desperate, longing way that you might miss her, but in the way that recognizes what she lost. As you move forward, building your life, you'll become the man that she wishes she had never let go of. But that's not your concern anymore. You're no longer seeking validation from her or anyone else. The true power lies in the silence of your absence. You don't need to make a dramatic exit or burn bridges. Just pull back and focus on what you can control. Let your actions speak louder than any words you could say. Let your growth and success be the things that define you, not her approval. You'll begin to realize that when you move on, it's not about her at all. It's about becoming the man you were meant to be. The Stoic approach to life teaches you to remain calm and centered, no matter the chaos around you. When she distanced herself, it wasn't a reflection of your worth. It was simply her choice. And you, as a modern Stoic, choose to move forward, to focus on yourself and to keep your peace. As you grow louder in your focus, your purpose, and your grind, she may start to hear about you and wonder what happened. But by then, it won't matter. You won't be sitting around wondering about her, waiting for some form of acknowledgement. You'll be too busy living your best life. That is the blessing of Stoicism, to find your strength and resolve not by what others do or don't do, but by how you choose to respond to life. So, don't beg, don't chase, don't second-guess yourself. Be the man who, even in silence, becomes impossible to ignore. Hey, thanks for watching and making it to the end. Here's something important to remember when a woman distances herself from you and starts ignoring you. How you respond will define your entire reality. You see, this is a test of your self-respect, self-control, and emotional maturity. Don't chase after her. Don't beg for her attention. That behavior never leads to anything good and only shows weakness. Instead, you need to stay grounded. Protect your peace. The moment you lose your frame, you've already lost. What high-value men do in these situations is rise above the drama. They focus on themselves, on their goals, on their growth. If her energy isn't matching yours, then you simply detach from the situation. Don't make her absence feel like an emergency. You understand that your worth isn't tied to her or anyone else's approval. When you start living this way, you become a man who is unwavering in his confidence and his sense of self. You're no longer chasing people or outcomes. You're too focused on your mission and your peace of mind. So, my advice, don't let anyone's distance make you lose your cool. Stay calm, stay centered, and keep moving forward like she never mattered more than your inner peace. Because, in the end, that's how a high-value man operates. Strong, calm, and always moving forward. Stay focused, stay confident, and keep leveling up. I appreciate you for tuning in today, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself.